Ready to go live? We are
All
live
right,
now.
let's
And
do it.
we are live now.
Okay, hola, hola. Hello,
Hola, hola, hola.
everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Esperen porque todavía nadie nos está viendo.
Okay. No, pues saludos a todos.
Fue un ensayo.
No, o sea, sí, ya
¿Salió?
estamos en vivo,
Ah,
solo que ya tenemos 2 personas viéndonos.
Sin quórum.
Ya está, pusieron el link en la página
Hola.
de Meet.
it's time to get serious now.
Hello, too.
Ah, sí, a ver,
Hola,
pásame.
hola.
Hola.
Hi there.
Por inbox.
Hello.
Oh, it's in English, right?
How's everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
You gotta
well,
turn the
hello,
switch.
everybody,
Hello.
for joining us today. We want to wait a little bit more, so if we have a little bit more people watching us.
Oops.
¿Alguien tiene prendido el...?
It was me. Sorry.
Okay, perfect, no problem. Okay, we are seeing now. Okay, perfect. Let's start with this. So welcome everybody to another edition of our live that we love to do it. This time we're gonna talk about in the Caribbean it rains a lot. So sometimes it can be the perfect day, sunny and everything is fine, and out of the sudden big storm and then again sun. So what happens when this happens actually? Well, we don't stop. We never stop. So this time we're going to share with you some stories about those days when rain catches in the middle of a tour and what we do, how do we handle it, and what happens. So today we have Cesar, and I will let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to start with the stories. Cesar Bautista, hi.
Yes. Hello, how are you doing today? Well, so I'm supposed to introduce myself. I'm Cesar Bautista, as you just said. I live in Mexico City, but I try to work across Mexico. So sometimes I work seasons in Mexico City and surroundings, and some others I come to the Caribe or Oaxaca or many different places. It's very nice to live in a country like Mexico for this because we have a good variety of options. And that's it. I've been working doing this for about 5 years. So far, so good. I like it. I enjoy spending time with my customers.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Cesar. We go with Pepe. We know Pepe already, but let him tell us something about him.
Hey, I'm just wearing my favorite mask. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I am Pepe. I'm originally from Mexico City, but I transferred to Riviera Maya because it's beautiful and I love nature. And I always wanted to work with nature, so I'm a federal tour guide. I work with natural tourism. This means protected islands such as Holbox, Contoy, whale shark, turtles, cenotes, the jungle, the coral reef. And I've been doing the tour guide for the last, officially for the last 2 years of my life, and empirically for the last 5 years. Yeah, without training.
Perfect. Thank you. And now we go with Cesar Martinez.
5 years. Yeah, without training.
Perfect. We can hear you, Cesar. You have a mute.
Yeah, it's off.
No,
You
Cesar
have to
Martinez.
mute
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, how about there? Everything okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Hi.
So, so really quick, my name is Cesar Martinez. This is my third live now. For those of you guys that are watching, thank you for watching us again and coming over to hear some of our pretty fun and crazy stories. I've been a guide for about seven years now because I love the culture. I'm from Mexico City myself. I'm 40 years old. I've been doing this for about 7 years, and I really love it, guys. I love telling stories, sharing a little bit of Mexico, and learning myself at the same time. mainly in the Riviera Maya, but I just like history, our local history in general. So if you guys come to Mexico, I'd love to be your guide.
Okay, thank you, Cesar. And now we have Saul, the pirate tour guide.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Saul. Saul, S-A-U-L. I'm exactly the pirate tour guide, so be careful, everybody. I've been working as a tour guide since 2006 here in Cancun and the Riviera Maya. Actually, I've been working for one-day tours to every single park here around Chichen Itza, Tulum, Cobá, any place that you want to visit. You can contact us and you will enjoy it. I'm really sure about it. And also as an independent tour guide since 4 years ago. And right now, doing overland tours, those tours going all around Mexico. Oh, well, my specialty is the southeast of Mexico, from Mexico City up to the Yucatan Peninsula. And well, we are here to have some fun today.
Perfect. Thank you, Saul. And then we have Jorge, mi George.
Let's hear it. Yeah. Hey, so guys, again, this is my second time in a live. This time in English. My name is Jorge Thomas. I've been doing this for about 4 years. I'm basically an adventure guide. I'm not an archaeological. I don't go to archaeological sites, although I like that part of the Riviera Maya. But well, I've been staying on an adventure park, ziplining, ATV tour, and all that. And well, basically that's what my story today includes. An ATV story. It's gonna be good. So hello to everybody, to the people here in the room, and for everybody watching us. Hello, and prepare to listen very good stories today.
We have really good stories. Thank you, Jorge. And well, let's start with this. We have 2 more tour guides waiting on the backstage. Let's start hearing some of the stories, and then I will let them introduce themselves, and then we will start with their stories too. So right now, who would like to start? Okay. Okay, let's go with Pepe. Pepe, tell us your story.
Hey. Well, it's kind of an old story. I was hoping I was getting one of these stories this season. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen. But it's a very beautiful story, also because in the end, it brought us all together as a team. I wasn't the tour guide captain at the time. It was Mr. Marek, which I respect very much, and I say, hi, Marek. He was the one who saved us all. The forecast that day was beautiful. We were about to go to the Holbox Island and meeting the beautiful flamingos. Sorry, there. Meeting the beautiful flamingos and everything, and then at the moment that we went on the boats, the skies just closed and everything became dark. We were off to the first island, which is the island of the birds, Bird Island, where we usually teach the people about the main species of birds that live on this island and why they gather all together. All of the bird species in different circles in the same island. There is a reason why. Find out when you come with us. And we were there explaining and everything, and then out of the sudden it started raining so much that we have to even hold to the view tower. And there was so much wind and everything, and we stayed there getting soaking wet in a proper storm for around 40 minutes. From that point, the tour was already messed.
Okay, so
and
basically you have to hold from something?
We have to. I mean, there is this view tower. There is a small dock and 2 view towers with a bridge where you can admire the birds because you are not allowed to step on the island to protect the birds. And we have to literally hold on tight to the wooden structures because the wind was blowing so fast. And we had to stay there because it was dangerous to navigate, and the boats are pretty small. These are a 10 people boat capacity, and when we were able to go back on the boats and start navigating towards Holbush, because we couldn't navigate back in the continent, it started raining again the same exact way, so much that all of the boats were navigating together at a distance of no less than 5 meters from each other, and you couldn't see the other boats. So people just started panicking because they couldn't see the other boats and they thought we were getting lost. Fortunately, the captains on location are people that are so well experienced. They were born and raised in the port of Chiquilá and other surrounding areas. So they do these tours every single day. So they knew exactly where we were going, even if there was no visibility and there was waves in the lagoon. It's a lagoon and we have waves, proper waves. So people was very frightened. Personally, I was having a lot of fun. I love that kind of weather, and I knew I was in good hands. But we finally made it to Holbox, and it kept on raining, and people was just very cold, and we had to just interrupt and stop in the middle of the tour and go back to the continent on the ferry. That way, we were safer, and we were all together and on board. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is that all of the teamwork that we have to put up together, the tour guides, we were around I would say 8 tour guides, and around 80 people on the tour, more or less 80 people. In the end, we had such a wonderful experience trying to stay safe, trying to get the best out of the situation, that the people was happy. And even though that they couldn't see Holbox and they had to reschedule, we had a magnificent time. And I think teamwork is what will always, at the end of the day, will save it.
Yeah, exactly.
But please be sure that whenever you come on tour with us and it starts storming, you are safe. We are experienced. Local people is experienced. Captains are experienced. And there is no way something bad is going to happen to you on tour.
Exactly. I think that's the most important part of everything. Even though we have these days with
I think we can't hear you, Laura. Are you mute?
No. Ah.
Or I think I just lost the audio. No, I lost the audio.
Oh, okay. Can the rest of you hear me?
So I'm gonna
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, hello, Tlal. How are you?
Hey, hello.
Sorry for the technical problems. I was just saying that it's really important that you know that even though we have these kind of situations, we are prepared. So every time we have these situations, we try to take the best out of it and to make sure that you are okay and that everyone in the tour it's okay and safe. So thank you so much, Monster, for sharing your story with us. And right now, let's continue with Tlal. Tlal, do you want to introduce yourself again and tell us your story, please?
Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Tlaltemoa Tonali. It's an Aztec name. I am very proud of my name. I have been living at the Riviera Maya for about 8 years, and it has been, wow, amazing learning all about the Mayans and living right there close to the ocean. And the ocean is the favorite party for me. So I have been working basically for the Whale Shark Tour, but also for a little island that it's called Contoy. It's a national park. It's completely protected. It's a natural reserve, and it's limited for a certain amount of people who can go there. So it's kind of hard to schedule a little tour to that island. Anyway, yes, we have to check it out, the weather conditions and whatever, before that we go off. I have to say that we have also the Harbor Capitani, that they are always looking at the weather conditions. If they get really wrong, they will close the harbor and nobody can go out. But sometimes at the Riviera Maya, crazy thing happens. So it means that maybe your day and even at those little on your device, like on your phone and whatever that you see the weather, everything seems to be good. But suddenly you have a crazy storm that it begins in question of minutes.
Yeah.
So Coto, it's a beautiful place to spend. We spend normally about 3 hours over there. And basically, right now, this is the rainy season. We're closed because of the pandemic. But well, anyway, I can share you what had happened a couple of years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago. And on the way back from Isla Contoy, going to Isla Mujeres, because also we stopped at Isla Mujeres, we got a crazy storm, but really crazy. Every boat that we had for this excursion in our company is for about 30 people. So we had that day 4 boats. And it was so bad, the weather, that even the captain couldn't see where he was going. So I had to take out my phone and use it like a GPS system just to navigate through the waters and arrive safely to Isla Mujeres, which it was the safest harbor to arrive.
Okay.
It was quite interesting for me because it was really a very hard storm with no visibility. But at the end, we succeeded. Once that we arrived to Isla Mujeres, it was kind of crazy because it had already rained at Isla Mujeres. So it was like...
You were moving with the storm.
Well, yeah, we passed through the storm that had just passed through Isla Mujeres, but it was like a clean island for us. Just washed it for well, all the people that it was with us that day. And it was kind of interesting because immediately we have a blue sky, a crazy sun who was burning everyone around. So this is a kind of crazy storms that we may have around. Yes, I have to admit, people on the boats, they were a little bit scared, but we're safe, okay? We made it, and in somehow or another, every boat right now, they are using radio communications. We have GPS trackers, and we are good at the end. No, we have learned it from our experiences to improve and get better every time. So come to the Riviera Maya and let's have fun, because those days you're never gonna forget them. Okay, this is the kind of things that I think that we always will remember. Okay, and gave us kind of I don't know, like it's an adventure at the end. You're living an adventure. And
exactly.
It's not made it up. So once that everything goes good, everyone had a blast and a really nice day. And I presume that they have really nice memories of that crazy day. But well, this is it. This is the Peninsula of Yucatan.
Perfect. Thank you. So, and what happened with the people on your group? They were nervous, they were happy, they were...
In one point, when I had to leave them, because, well, we were 2 guides. We are always 2 or 3 guides in a boat for 30 people. So in this occasion, I was in charge of this excursion for the other 4 boats. And I had to go with the captain to lead the other boats in a safe path to arrive to Isla Mujeres. So yes, I saw their faces and they were very scared, and also completely sunk, completely wet, because even if we have kind of protections on the boat, anyway, you have water who comes in and we get wet. But well, we're at the ocean at the end.
Yeah,
they made already the snorkeling activity. They were already wet. They were in a beach, really nice with a lot of sun, but then it got crazy, the weather, and we got this crazy storm for the way back.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tlal, for sharing your story with us. And then let's continue with Saul.
All right.
Please tell us a story about pirates.
Hey, can you hear me well?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, great. Talking about the histories about storms, so it always happens. So here, mostly on our rainy season, but I have a lot of histories in archaeological sites and everything. But I have one that I love. So I've been working in a local company here, doing experience kayaking on the ocean and do snorkeling on a coral reef, and everything. Trust me, was amazing. We were lucky. We were lucky that that day we were the last the last group of the day, and so the intention of this one was you arrive at a little bay that is really beautiful. Basically, the bay is how I can tell. It's it has the coral reef stopping the strong currents of the ocean, and then the intention of this expedition was jumping on the boat, paddling the boat, tie the boat, the kayaks, sorry, the kayaks at the buoys, and then jump into the water, doing the snorkeling activities and everything. So one of the things that nobody here they can let me lie is because everybody knows that before or during the storm, the views underwater is amazing. So because the water is really slow, really clear, and it's beautiful. But that's not the point right now. We arrived there at the beach. We were talking with everybody, doing the instructions, doing the safety rules, and then I saw really far away some clouds, and says no, it's everything. So the lifeguards there in the bay. That's why I was telling you that we were lucky that day, because all the lifeguards that they joined us to do the experience, they were basically free. Always you have one lifeguard with you, going all around, and join you all the experience behind you. We arrived there at the boys. We at the buoy. We tie the buoys, and then we jump into the water. So then just doing the experience, a really big storm comes over, and the show has to continue, right? Everybody was just a little scared. Then the currents they start stronger. The coral reef was stopping the big waves, and then our decision was to going back to the buoys. But the currents they are changing and everything, and then I was pulling my kayak always. That was for experience, pulling your kayak. So if somebody felt tired, so they can call the kayak, and you were pulling all of them. But that day was everybody a little scared, and everybody hold the kayak, and was just my paddles. I was just paddling with my feet, just going up to the boys. Then the lifeguard he went to join me, to help me, going up to the boys, and the other lifeguards that they were at the beach. They jump on a kayak, and they went all of them together to helping us to get everybody to jump again on the kayaks, and then going back to the beach. So,
Wow.
but one of the things that day we saw turtles, we saw stingrays, we saw a lot of beautiful beaches. I told you the water was really clear, crystal, and was a lot of marine life underneath. So for the tourists, for the travelers, it was a great experience. A little scary, but it was a great experience. So of course, you're supporting with all the team around, and we went back to the beach, and everybody was after that. We used to, to toast with a tequila shot, and everybody was talking about, so, did you see how the one of the waves he was pulling me back, and then I just jump on the boat, and was crazy. But it's a part of this, and as you told us, Laura, we have here a really blue sky. Then suddenly we have a really strong storm, and then again the sky blue, and the Simpsons songs, right? So the Simpsons, really blue, really blue and nice. But on the meantime, so during the storm, So we have a really great experience.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing. What happens when it rains and we have these kind of situations also is that you already are living a unique experience. But when something like this happens and you go through it and somehow you survive to it, it's like wow. So it makes your experience like a lot more fun, a lot more. I like to tell to everyone. No, it's not just like, oh yes, it was a perfect day at the Riviera Maya, and we have a perfect and lovely day. That's perfect. I mean, but when you do this and you go through this, it's like, wow, the tour was really amazing. Obviously, thanks to us. Okay,
Exactly.
we have Nora that joined us, and we have Luis there new with us. Well, Nora was in our last French live, but Luis is new for in our live. So let's hear from him. Sorry. Hi, Luis.
Hey guys, can everybody hear me okay?
Yep,
Yeah? All
perfect.
right. So I'm Luis. I'm in my 30s. That's all you need to know. I've been
Okay.
around, or I've been guiding tours for about a couple years, mainly in adventure, right? So like doing zip lining and getting to know beautiful places underground. And yeah, I'm here to tell you a story. I hope I can put it all together.
Okay, Luis, bring it on. Let's
All
hear
right.
you.
So I mentioned the places underground because if you guys have ever been to the Riviera Maya, there's two worlds in this place. There's what's above and what's underneath, known as Xibalbá to some people. Is this system of caves that is all over the place. And I had the pleasure to visit one of them, Nohoshnak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, but the place has no shortage of beautiful places to show people. So every time I did this tour, I just talked about the cave. There was zip lining and there was other things, but you talk about the cave, and when people sees it, that makes their day because it's hard to describe it. Nonetheless, the rain, as you guys were saying, happens out of nowhere in here. So maybe halfway through the zip lining, it started raining on us, and some people are not quite into it, but some people in the group were keeping on going, and I'm going, well, we're gonna go see this cave. Turns out the cave flooded, right? You usually enter the cave through a small dock, and we would encourage people to jump into it. But this time, the dock, the water was coming up to your knees, and you have a certain room for the ceiling that it was almost non-existent. So out of a group of all kinds of people, there was one guy that said, "I'm going in with you." And technically you're the tour guide. You gotta know whether you can do this or not. But I wasn't gonna back up for one guy. I was like, yeah, let's go inside. So we went in, and you can imagine that we had very little room. We usually snorkel in that cave, and I had to go ahead and find little bubbles and tell him when to hold his breath and everything. But by the time we were inside the cave, it was raining in there. It was wonderful because I think my best prize to take a tour is when somebody like that guy that was adventurous enough, he was looking at the place going, "Thank you for taking me in," and I'm like, "Yep, all right." We weren't able to do the whole thing, but him coming out and telling the rest of the group, it was like it changed their mood, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, I wish we had gone in," and you guys are brave. That sounds amazing. Blah blah blah. So this place has that quality. You have two worlds, and then that was one of the first times I realized that it also rains down there. And you can imagine a cave, like all the sounds of the water. It's empty. There was nobody there but me and him,
Wow.
and it's just the place made you feel really small. I don't know if I can describe it any better. And I think that was one of the best times I had the chance to visit that place. And there's always somebody adventurous. So if you are that person in the tour, to tell your tour guide you're gonna go in, and I'm sure we wanted to give you that experience, right?
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. So sometimes we are not scared. So come with us.
Exactly.
Sometimes we are not scared. No, I mean, sometimes it's like you said, when we find someone in the group that really wants to do it, even though it's raining a lot and it's look like it's not safe, but we know it's safe and we can do it. And when someone says like I go, it's like wow. And I'm sure that person that went with you to that day, there, he or she?
It was he.
he
It was.
he must have the most amazing memories. If for you that you do this for a living, it was an amazing experience. Imagine just for him going into a cave and raining in the cave. It's the most amazing thing.
Yeah, and then we're the only two people inside because very much like the other people in the group, no one really felt like it was a good idea to go in there, right? Because you have to deal with claustrophobia and like all of this darkness, and you don't know what's gonna happen in there. So a lot of people, you gotta encourage them to go through these experiences, and I'm sure everyone here has put somebody out of their comfort zone and give them that great experience that they'll never forget. That's
Exactly, that's the point. You are on vacations, you are exploring, you are with the best, with the professionals, so go for it, enjoy the rain, dance, everything, right? So, okay, thank you so much, Luis. That was an amazing story. And now we will go with El George, Jorge Thomas.
Hello back.
Hi.
Well, hearing all these things, what comes to mind is that, well, we do this, like you said, Laura, every day, and we do this for a living, and we have a lot of experience like this, you know. We cannot control the weather, we cannot control when it's going to rain or how it's going to rain. Sometimes it's little drops, but sometimes it's pouring rain. So it's amazing when you have people that maybe experience it only once and they are able to do it and they are willing to do it. And when you have that and you are the guide supposed to be leading them and supposed to be taking care of them, they encourage you a lot because you say, okay, this guy know what he wants and he is very brave. So, well, let's do it. I need to do it. So that's a very good part. Well, in this case, my experience is going to be on an ATV again. And basically, it was pouring rain. The thing that we do is two guides, one on the front and one on the back, with radial communication. In this case, of course, the radios are not working very good when you have a lot of rain because they get wet inside, and sometimes you stop hearing the other people. And what happened in this case, it was that I was following the group. I was on the back trying to control this group. And suddenly the puddles, the mud, and all that, as the ATVs are not amphibians in this case, they stop. They stop. And they don't want to go. They don't even start. They don't make the spark. So basically, you are left behind. You're left alone over there. Imagine that it's a track, a circuit that it's around 9 kilometers. And well, suddenly you are in the jungle with no radio communication with the people bringing you changes of ATVs, no communication with your front guide. And well, I was like, okay, what can I do? So I tried to start the ATVs a couple of times. It worked. But as soon as I start advancing like 10 meters or something like that, it stopped again. So no communication, no one knows anything about me. I decided to go down on the ATV and start walking, you know. And well, it was far, but nothing to do about it. So I start working, and the fourth part around here is that suddenly in a corner, what I found is tourist stopping there. The ATV wasn't working again, and she was a lady, and she was like, okay, what am I doing here? And I arrive from behind and I say, hey, what are you doing? What do you mean? So we try to start the ATV. I say, okay, let's try to start it and then move with this one. Wasn't working again. So, well, thinking kind of quick, I said, well, I'm walking. You want to go or you want to stay here? And she said, no, of course I go with you. So, well, let's do it. We start
No,
walking.
Jorge,
We
I want
were,
to stay here in the jungle alone in the middle of the storm. Thank you.
that's
You
what
go
my good
on.
thinking, she's not going to stay here. So that's how I move her. So in this case, we start walking and kind of chatting and all that, the thing we do. And suddenly, like maybe half a mile, close to 1 kilometer, uh, what we found is another person, another person with stuff. And well, same thing. We were walking over there in the jungle, and of course, no one knows that we were there. Everybody was trying to contact me on the radio. Hey, what happened with George? And well, it's not that I'm very important, but we were with people, of course, that it's important in this case. So same thing. It's like, okay, I got her and I can get you, but walking, what you want? Okay, let's go. So we start walking, the three of us, through the jungle. Another lady, by the way, and well, I suddenly, when I was getting very close to the reception area where we finished the tour, of course, the line was over there. The front guide with another, I don't know, 6, 7 ATVs, and with the other people like asking, okay, what happened and where are these people? Also, very far away, I was like, hey, I'm here and I got people with me. So they stopped over there and we put these walking ladies into another ATV as a passenger so we can move along. And I end up walking all the way because, of course, no more ATVs. And we finished the tour that way. Almost
Walking.
like 1 kilometer walking through the jungle. And well, for me, that was maybe the first time and the only really rough time on ATVs. It happens a lot of times, but most of the times we can, well, finish the tour with with an ATV completely.
Yeah.
And well, in this case, it was very fun because it was an experience also to me because it was the first time we ended up doing something like that. And well, it was kind of a story. And of course, they were like, okay, this is amazing. This was very fun. We end up driving, and suddenly an experience happened, something that I wasn't expecting. And it happens, and I was safe at the end. So
Yeah, exactly.
basically, that's the story. I got a lot again, but well, I need to have time for these other people. Sorry.
Yeah, you want to steal the camera, Jorge.
I know. Camera loves me.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, also,
Yeah.
well, I had a chance to work with Jorge for
Yes.
2-3 years almost, and we have a lot of stories in of Under the Rain. And well, I think it's important to mention that we go off the reception as a group all together. We have a line and we have a guide on the front, like Jorge said, and a guide on the back. But when the radio doesn't work and when it's raining like that, it's almost impossible to see farther than 1 meter, 2 meters. It's amazing, really. You can't see anything. So imagine we have the line of all the ATVs, maybe 10, maybe 12 behind us, and you look back and you don't see you just see 2 ATVs or 3, and then where is the rest of the group? And then all the ATVs starts to turn off. I mean, it's raining. They have water in the engine and everything. So imagine Jorge looking for his people in the jungle under the rain. So it's amazing, but also it's an experience. I mean, you have to be there to feel how it's the rain in the jungle, how it feels to be there, the smell, the air, and all the, I don't know, the vibe that you can feel when it's raining in the jungle. It's amazing. So even though maybe people can be scared, a little bit scared about the situation, you have to take a moment to stop and enjoy for a second, at least for a second, and then you freak out. But then, but for a second, you can enjoy it. Well,
As a guide, you don't have enough time to freak out. You know, you're
I
like,
know.
yeah, I
No,
got
no,
this,
no.
guys. I got this.
Yeah, exactly. We walk like, yeah, we have this. You are like all wet. You have
This
cold.
happens.
You are like,
This happens every day. You know, come on, let's do it.
yeah. Oh,
Then
come
you
on,
are
it's
like,
rain.
okay, really?
Okay, Jorge,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
yeah.
So,
You are welcome. Happy to be here.
thank
Enjoy
you,
the
Jorge.
rest of the story, guys.
So I'm gonna let Cesar Bautista come back again, and then we will continue with his story, and then we go with Nora, and we're gonna close with Cesar Martinez. Okay? So Cesar Bautista, please. Oh, you have your mic off. We can hear you.
Second. Sí, sí estoy. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Sorry. Well, yes, again, I am Cesar Bautista, live in Mexico City, tour guide for 5 years. I love mountains also. And well, my story actually happened as I was operating a circuit from Mexico City to Chiapas. I was working with this group coming from Texas, and it was one of the funniest and happiest groups I ever had.
Okay.
But very peculiar because they were Catholics, and they were coming in a religious service, let's say. The first and the main thing they wanted to see is the Basilica at Mexico City, and then the rest was just like contingent, but the most important was that. Anyways, we do Mexico City, we go to the Monarchs in Michoacan, we go to Oaxaca, and as we get to Chiapas, we get to visit Palenque. It was the rainy season, so I had to warn them because, okay, we are talking about elders in this group. We have members, travelers between 60 and 75 years old, and there was these two sisters above 80, 82 and 84 each one. So once in Palenque, we have to split the group in two because part of them, they have like mobility issues. So it was easier to give like a general introduction for everyone. And then I took half of the group with me to take a look around. And the other half, they decided to stay there or like in the main plaza, explore by themselves. And then if maybe they had some questions, well, I was there to answer them. But the first funny fact was they got bless you, whoever.
Oops.
They got boarded. I mean, the reduced mobility part of the group got boarded by a child. If you have ever guided in Palenque, there are kids offering you the tour guiding services. And they said, man, this guy was so cute, we decided to hire him as a side tour guide. So they were showing off as every time we were crossing in the archaeological site, they were like, hey, look, this is our new tour guide, and it's better than you. Ha 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 ha. Well, I finish with my part of the group. I go back to the bus on the scheduled time, and we were waiting there for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then it started raining a little bit, and then it was raining a little bit harder and harder and harder. It was a storm. And the other part of the group were not there yet at the bus, and I was kind of getting worried, right? It's been almost 40 minutes. I don't have contact because there is no good reception over there. So when I finally managed to call, the tour leader was with them, and I called her and I like, Mrs. Mary, how are you? And most important, where are you? and she just says, "Man, I don't know where we are." The kid tour guide just we gave him a tip, and as we gave him the tip, he just vanished. She disappeared and left us there abandoned in the middle of nowhere. They didn't even have an idea on which part of the park were they. So I had to go back to the main entrance, because also it was around 5:30. The park was closing, and I go to the park guards, and I asked the man, part of my group is still there, and I don't know where they are, and they don't even know where they are. So they have to use the radios to call and try to locate them. Finally, they found them. And afterwards, I got an explanation, and the tour leader, Mrs. Mari, who was actually like 70 years old, he said, "Man, when the park guards came to us and said, 'Hey, are you okay? Do you need anything?' The only thing I could think about is, yes, we need an ambulance.
Oh, wow.
Please help." They were left on top of a small, like a pyramid base, and they have to come down like 7 steps sitting because they cannot walk. They have pain in their knees. And they walk under the rain all that section back to the entrance. So at the time it was scary for them, and I was also scared because, you know, as a tour guide, you have to be in for everything, and you have to be aware about anything is happening to your group. But they just took their way, and well, in the end, it was funny even for them. They were laughing, right? They were like, we were just thinking about we're gonna die, maybe here, but now we are back in the bus with the AC and with the rest of the crew, and everything is cool. So yes, never let your group get hire a kid tour guide, because they will vanish after the rain starts.
Okay. So at the end, they were okay. They were all okay.
Yeah, everything was okay.
Problem.
I mean, it was just like the scare, and they came back to the bus, guided by the guards of the park. And yeah, that's it. We went to have lunch, and the rain stops, even if there was a rainbow.
Yeah, I know. It always happens there. It
Yeah, I
happens
was a
all
little
the
bit
time.
scared also. And that was it.
And how was your feeling when you realized the other part of the group weren't there? Like the
Well,
park was
naturally,
about to close, and it was raining, and they were like not in the best conditions to walk.
yes,
And
I know.
Palenque is huge.
Not in the best conditions, and not even prepared for rain, because there was not supposed to be a rainy day. I was scared a little bit at the first, because again, like third age, right? Above 70 years old, and then like lost in the jungle. They may feel like that. I asked to the guards of the park, let me in and let me try to find them. But it's a good thing to know. Also, the people who are taking care and keeping safe the parks, they know the place, they know what to do, and they said, "Don't worry, we handle it." So they found them using their radios, right? They spread all over the area, found them, and brought them back to the entrance. So yeah, scary, but under control all the time.
Yeah, I think that's important again to mention it. You won't leave them there. They won't disappear in the jungle.
No way.
No. I mean, we will find a way to get the group all together again and continue. And
no matter what,
always happens after the rain, after all the panic, you have the best day ever.
Yes.
Sun, a rainbow, and everything is perfect. So you continue, and sometimes you don't even remember a half an hour ago it was raining like hell, right?
Half an hour it was scary, but then it's fun. Well, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much, Cesar, for sharing your story with us. And now we go with Nora. Nora, how are you?
Hola, hello everyone. I'm good. Nice to be here with everyone.
Thank you, Nora, to join us. So, Nora, can you tell us just really quick a little bit about yourself, and then tell us your story, please? Yourself, sorry.
Yes, sure. I am a Mexican girl. I came to the Riviera in 2001. So I just couldn't leave. I loved it here. I got myself a job as a tour guide, and here I am. No, I left a couple of times from the Riviera, but I've come back every time, and I love it here. This is like what I consider my home.
Yeah, exactly. It happens to everyone. We go and then we
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
Okay, Nora, thank you. So, would you like to share your story with us?
Yes, what can I say? I mean, I've been working as a tour guide for a long time, so
Okay.
you get to learn, know that weather here can be quite something. It can change, as you were saying before, like right in a second. So you gotta be prepared all the time. That's what I've learned. No, I would never take a raincoat or stuff, no. And then you get to there where you need to prepare yourself to have the best experience and to make it up as well for the people. So I don't know. My advice for the people it's always like choose or book your tours accordingly to the weather. If it's gonna be a rainy week, go for the jungle. No, go to Chichen Itza, go to Tulum that can be very hot. But then, of course, if you have a snorkeling tour on the Blue Caribbean, it's not the best day maybe to book a tour. No, so here we go one day to Isla Contoy with a very, very little group of six French people. So we were part of a bigger group, but as I was taking a smaller group with me, we were going on a very small boat. I'm talking about maybe 10 years ago. So the boats were at that time a little bit different. I mean, we had very good boats, but they were still using some of the very old ones. This was a very small wooden boat going to Isla Contoy, and the day was fine. I mean, we had a fantastic day in Isla Contoy with the sun shining, everything going fantastic. And all of a sudden, the captain comes to me and says, Nora, we need to leave in advance because there's a storm coming by. It was for you for later, but it seems like it's gonna get us if we don't leave like right now. So it was kind of hard to tell the people, no, because people would say, "Hey, Nora, the sun is shining." Yeah, yeah, but we're gonna get the storm. We gotta get out of here. So we ended up leaving. No, we actually left before the other groups because they were going on bigger boats. They were faster than us. So we were the first group to leave. Here we go, and then it starts to turn all black. You know, this very black, cloudy, very, very stormy weather. And it started to just shoot on us. No, but it just came like a no, like a curtain on top of us. This little boat going through, if you have been to Contoy, you know that the way to Contoy, it's very shallow water. So it can get, with the currents, it can get very wavy. So I had this couple. They were not very, I mean, they were maybe in their 50s, no, but she was very, very scared about it. And he was so loving. I mean, he was just taking care of her. But she just couldn't stop it and help it and started to puke all around. And she got completely sick. And he was all
Oh,
ashamed and she was getting even angry, but then she couldn't even get angry because she was so sick. No, and she just wanted out of there. And you know, when you're in those situations when there is no way out, and you just gotta be patient and you just gotta go through the situation and smile and try to do your best for people to feel better. And sometimes you feel so useless, really, no, because the situation is so over you. Then at the end of the day, I mean, by the time we got to the port back in Punta Sam, the weather was okay. The ocean was calming down. This woman came out of the boat, and she was the happiest woman on earth, not to be back on her, on the land.
on the land,
No,
yeah.
but that's my thing. I mean, you can have a great time if you have the attitude. Sometimes it's overwhelming for some people because, of course, the conditions sometimes. I mean, we get scared too. sometimes. No, you get into situations sometimes where, whoa, but it's fun. You learn about it. You learn how to take care of people as well. That's something that I appreciate a lot, working as a tour guide. You learn to read people, to see their faces, to see what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, and maybe try to help them through it the best way that you have learned to do. So my advice, book accordingly. Check on the weather report. You can get terrible surprises in the Riviera Maya during the winter, during the summer. So check on the weather, book accordingly, and always carry an extra set of clothes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good advice. Bring a change of clothes because for sure you're gonna need it. It may be rain, it may be mud, it may be sweat, it may
Dust,
be dust,
yes,
puke sometimes. So bring a change of clothes. Thank you so much,
yes,
Nora, for sharing with us your story. And
yeah,
then,
happy to do so.
Jorge, you wanna add something?
Yeah, at least a pair of socks, an extra at least.
Extra pair of socks.
You
And
don't
also
wanna be
really important, to bring with you a light jacket because after all the adventure you go again to the van with the AC and it's going to be cold. So that's another advice that we can tell you. So thank you so much, Nora, and now we will continue with Cesar Martinez.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. So I know I only have a few minutes of your time. So I just want to make this sweet and short as possible, as entertaining as I can make it. My story is also about rain. Tremendous amount of rain. As everybody's been telling you, it rains in the Riviera Maya during a rainy season like you wouldn't believe. Like one moment to another, it's a drastic change in the spectrum. One moment it's sunny, the next moment it's pouring rain. So my story takes place about 4 years ago. The difference simply that it began raining, right? So my story, the raining was already taking place and it had been heavy for days. So it had been raining heavily for days, right? So the local company that I was working for at the time, calls me the night before to tell me that I have to go to Cancun. For those of you guys that don't know, I live in Playa del Carmen. Playa del Carmen to Cancun, it's about an hour away, right? So that's a little bit of driving, right? So if I have to pick you guys up, if you have to be picked up at like 6:30, we have to be up and in the van by like 5:30. So I know we get a lot, we get a lot of the comments, right? That you guys have the best job ever. You're always outside, right? But there's a lot of things that go on, right? That you guys don't realize that sometimes you're working 6 days or 5 days, right? And then your sixth day, you have to go to Cancun and pick up a group of 17 people, right? And you have to smile and you have to do it just as fun as the last 4 or 5 tours that you've done in a week. So that was the case with me, right? So I wake up on a Saturday, right? And I'm driving a van with 17 people. I have like 3 resorts that I have to go to pick up and make up 17 people, right? But the odds were in my favor. I'm thinking no one's gonna come in the rain, man. We're gonna go to Tulum and we're gonna go to those caves that Luis a couple of stories ago was mentioning. So I can vouch for his story. Those cenotes, those caves get extremely flooded. It's totally a new world in there. If you've never been to a cave, you owe it to yourself to come to the Riviera Maya and let one of us, it doesn't matter who, take you to see this beautiful world, man. And whether it's rainy season or whether it's dry season, the cenotes are still beautiful. So anyway, so I'm thinking no one's gonna go today, right? So we're gonna walk around Tulum. I'm imagining this, right? I'm having a dialogue with myself on my way to pick people up. I'm like, there's just no way, right? I'm thinking, um, it's gonna be a short day. I'm about to show up to these resorts. No one's gonna be there, and I'm just gonna leave no show forms, and I'm gonna come back. Right? I'm gonna drink some warm coffee or something, and just kind of chill, watch a movie. So I'm driving, assuming that this is gonna happen, right? I get to the first place, and it's still raining, like you wouldn't believe. Like I can't see hardly anything. Like my windshield wipers are going as fast as they can, and I can barely see, right? I make it to my first resort, and guess what happens? I notice that my back tire, it's a little flat, right? I'm like, oh shit. Sorry. I'm like, shoot. So
No.
I need to keep this. I need to keep an eye on this tire. Right? So I get to the first resort thinking no one's gonna be there, right? No one's at the lobby. But guess what? They're inside, right? And so I start calling names, and like the 3 people I call show up. I'm like, no way, man. There's just no way everybody's gonna show up, right? I drive to the next place, same thing. Everyone shows up, right? I have children, like 3 different families, 4 different families. I had to make a long story short and not drag on. I went to a 3rd hotel, and everybody came out. So everyone. So I have every seat full in the van. It's raining cats and dogs, right? Come hell or high water, I had to keep going, right? So now I'm thinking I have a flat tire, right? And I have 17 people with me. And I have to make it all the way down to Tulum. Again, to give you an idea, Cancun and Tulum are about an hour and a half away. So it's not like you're just going to get there right away, right? You got to go through different towns like Puerto Morelos, Playa del Carmen. You have to cross these towns, right? From one point to another in the rain, right? So I'm thinking fast, right? I got to go pump this tire, right? So I get to the nearest gas station, right? And I had to ask everyone to get out of the van because we have regulations here in Mexico where we can't be near a gas pump with a van full of people. So imagine, right? I just got everyone in the van, right? And then here I am telling them, hey, you guys, I got to stop at this gas station because I think I have a flat tire and I need you all to get out, right? So they're looking at me like, what's happening, right? So I'm like, I'm coaxing them. I'm persuading them to come out of the van, right? Because I need to stop to the gas station. So that's a whole show, right? Finally, I got everyone to come out, right? And it's not quite as simple as I was thinking. It's not just that my tire is flat, like I stepped on a nail. My tire stepped on a nail. And so now I have this thing that could potentially make the tire pop. So Saturday, 17 people, I call the office. They say, you got to change the tire, man. We don't have anybody to help you. I'm thinking, I went from I was thinking I was going to have a really short day to now I have 17 people. I'm late now coming out of Cancun. I had to fix this tire. Make a long story short, man, I had people helping me, right? Change the tire. I was bleeding. My knuckles were bleeding, right? Finally, I get everyone back on the show, and it never stopped raining, man. And I guess the people that followed Luis were adventurous, but maybe the people that were with me, I was thinking that they had already paid. Maybe they weren't gonna have any more time to go another vacation, and they wanted to do everything, man. So zip lines, snorkeling, rappelling, everything in the rain. Like I don't think there was one moment I was dry, right? Not even during lunch, right? So finally, we leave the zip lining park after about 4 hours there, right? And I'm thinking, maybe this family wants to go back to the hotel now, right? I'm like, hey, you guys, guess what? Tulum is really just walking around. We go there to take pictures. I mean, you guys seen how the weather is. Do you really want to go? Or, I mean, I have a great presentation. I can tell you all about Tulum, right? I have great pictures. Right?
I have it in my iPad.
Seriously, I
go
can
there.
send you the file, right? I can send you the file. I was trying everything to trying to get them to just go back to the resort, and they wouldn't do it. They said, no, we want to go. I had to go, right? So I drive to Tulum, man, and I'm still trying to explain, like, listen, you guys, just from the parking lot to the place I got to take you to use the bathrooms, we're going to be soaking wet again. And, like, you guys changed, so you don't have any more clothing. I mean, you really want to do this? You have your children with you? I mean, I didn't know what else to throw at them, right? And they still said, yeah, we want to go. But by now, the storm was, like, scary. Like, it was blowing me out, like, it was blowing us back. We had umbrellas, but there were no help. like the umbrella was wrapping around us, right? Like it closed
Yeah, yeah,
around
yeah.
me. And I had my head, I was barely able to see walking up to the entrance. I was trying to keep the tickets from getting wet, right? So I lost track of my group, right? By the time I made it from the parking lot to the entrance, which by the way, you guys watching that are soon coming to visit again, from the parking lot to Tulum, it's about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. If you're walking at a good pace, it's about 10 minutes. So, and there's mangrove, so there's swamp on both sides of the road. So when it floods, that place floods too. So not only are we walking in this flooded road, but it's like swamp, right? Like the swamp is connecting, and there's a lot of wildlife there, right? By the time I get to the entrance, I had one person. Everyone had turned around, right, and went back to the store where the bathrooms are.
But they
But
wanted to
because
go.
exactly, right, exactly. Like I was explaining to them that this was gonna happen, and they still wanted to go. So even then, one person wanted to go in and take pictures. One lady, she said, "I want to take pictures. I'm already here. I'm not gonna turn around." I was already in my swimming gear, so I didn't really care, you know.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that day, the joke was on me. You know, it was like never assume that the day is gonna be that short because something's gonna happen, and you still have to make your promise, the sale promise good. You can't say, sorry guys, it's raining. You know, like if you're adventurous enough, any one of us will still take you regardless of how soaking wet we get. So that
Exactly.
was my story, guys. Before I say goodbye, I want to say hello to Pablo Barquin, Servando Benitez, Diego Viadero, and their companies, Pichan Tours, Caribbean Select Expeditions, and Awad, Grupo Awad, right? So any one of us, you guys have been in this area. We know this area. Saul, all of us, right? It's just the other guys are not here. But if you want to get to meet us and get to know us a little bit more, meetyourtourguide.mx, and you'll learn a lot more about us. And when you decide to come to Mexico and visit us again, you can make a wiser decision and choose which one of us will show you a good time this time around. And that's all.
With
Thank
who
you guys.
you
Thank
will
you so
go.
much.
Thank you so much, Cesar.
Thank you guys.
Well, that's another example. It's the opposite way because many times, like Jorge and I, we can tell you that when it's raining, people don't show up at the park and for the ATVs. And when it was raining for us, it was like, okay, we are expecting a lot of no shows. And this time, I think Cesar was expecting that, like no shows, I'm gonna be back and everything will be fine because believe us, we love our job, but there is a big difference between being in your bed with a big storm and being out there trying to do a tour, right? So he had the hope that no one will show up, and then the tour is canceled, rescheduled, or whatever. But no, the show must go on. We have to keep going. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us. Well, just to finish with this, I would like you to remember we are a group of tour guides from all over Mexico. We decided to create this platform because we have already 4 months because of this pandemic due to the COVID-19. We had stopped. We have 4 months now without working. So we start donation program, but in return, we offer you some tips, some awesome tips. We offer you a blog. We have a website. We want you to meet us. You know, it's really important for us. We love our job. We love to take you to know amazing places. So, and also, as you can see, we are really pros, the best. So, guys, I'm gonna let Pepe back just to say bye bye. But before, guys, say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us today. And let's hope we're going to leave on the comments all our website, our Facebook page, Instagram page. the donation page, every help, it's really good. We are working hard to give you the best experience. We keep preparing ourselves. We keep training. We are just waiting for you. So that's all we need, that you to come to visit us so we can take you to amazing places and to meet what we love about Mexico. So, well, guys, go on. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Okay,
See you soon.
so
Sale, banda. Nos vemos pronto.
So, Monster, there is something you want to add?
Yes, yeah, actually, I forgot to say something that is very important, and I think this way of thinking about the rain comes from living in the city. I was born and raised in the city. Guys, whenever it rains, especially in Riviera Maya, in the middle of the jungle, it's water. It's just water, and it's clean. Rain in the jungle is clean. So if at your tour it starts raining, be thankful for it and enjoy it. I know we're used to find shelter from the rain, but in this case, when you're on vacation here and it rains, just be thankful for it, admire it, because sometimes the storm is, I just lost the word, but sometimes it's so amazing to see a show like that, the way it rains here in Peninsula of Yucatan. That's what I want to add.
Thank you. That's an amazing closure for this live. It's water, guys. We get wet. We have flat tires. What else? It's just living.
I think rain is way better than a flat tire, actually.
Yeah. I mean, but we can have flat tires, and in these situations, we can have storms at the sea. But we work with professionals. We are professionals, and at the end, like you just said, we're just gonna get wet. That's it.
That's it.
And
Okay.
travelers, if it's raining,
Do you want to add something?
hey guys,
Sorry. Yes.
if it's raining, it's water. That it means you will be wet.
Oh yeah.
Stay safe, guys. So look, my red cheeks. I need some sun. Come back soon.
Yeah, we need some sun, please. Come back soon. We are waiting for you, and with open arms. Jorge, do you want to add something?
No, just to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed these stories that we have for you. We are full of them. And well, again, like everybody said, it's just water, but sometimes it gets crazy. And well, come back soon. There's already people traveling here. That's a good thing. There's people, well, maybe trying to get out of home already. Follow them. Come back here.
Follow them. Yeah.
Get us out of our homes. We're
Yeah.
tired to be sitting here. We want to be out there.
With you guys, enjoying. You have no idea how much we miss our job. Our daily routine was to go out to swim in cenotes, to swim with turtles, and to be out there in the jungle, or I don't know, in amazing archaeological sites. And now it's our Netflix and our dogs. So please come back soon. We are waiting for you. And please check out our webpage. We have, like Cesar Martinez said, we have 4 companies we have 6 companies that we work with that we would love to take you. And also you can contact any one of us and we can take you, and we can guarantee you that you will have a blast.
Yeah, I can vouch
Definitely.
for that, guys. If I can
Okay.
add Saul, let's
Consume local.
Okay, guys.
Products, you guys. Visit Mexico first.
Thank you so much. Mexico first. See you later, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you.